Welcome to DreamSpire's Books Virtual Book Fair. Join us today. You can also catch the replay on our website, www.dreamspirebook.com. We have amazing authors that are joining us today, from children's books to steamy fiction. Again, you are not going to want to miss this. See you there. DreamSpire Books Virtual Launch Box. Everything you need for a successful virtual book launch in one place. Timelines, press release templates, social media advertising info, graphic design, an interview on our streaming network, and a personal coaching session. Don't forget your thank yous and so much more. Visit us at www.dreamspirebooks.com for more information. Thank you for joining us for our second hour of DreamSpire Books Virtual Book Fair. We're going to have a quick round table, and then we're going to get right back and get right into our next authors. So we're here. We talked about the pandemic, and we talked about the other things that are going on. Now let's get into a little author stuff. And how important is it for you to have a book trailer for your book? We're going to play after this roundtable. We're going to play a couple. But do you have a book trailer? Do you think it's important? Or why don't you have one? Or do you even know the steps to going to get one made? We're going to start with Miss LaShawn on this one. Hello? Maybe is she frozen? LaShawn,
Yes,
can you hear me?
hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did you hear
it's
the
going
question?
in and out. I can hardly hear you.
Oh
I sure
no.
didn't because the sound is going in and out.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So the question was, is a book trailer important to you today as an author? Do you have one? Do you want one? Or are you like, I don't need one?
Yes, I really need to actually do one for, especially for my second book, is very necessary because as you're branching out and to other different audiences, you need to have that book trailer so that people can actually see what the book is about. They can actually imagine some of the themes that are inside of the book. So yes, a book trailer is very important. And I did not do one for my first book, but I will do one for the second one that'll be coming out next year.
Okay, we're gonna go to Jane. Now we know her first name. Okay, you are a veteran. You have written 11 books. Okay, so yeah, we need to clap for that. Do you have any book trailers? How do you feel about them? Okay, I can't hear you.
I think she's muted.
Yeah, unmute yourself.
There we go.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, I love book trailers. I like watching them. I have one for the book I'm going to talk about today. I spent about $70 on it, but I love it to death. I don't share it as often as I should, but I do have it, and once in a while I do throw it out there on my social media. So yes, I think as far as them being important, I don't know. I think it's an additional avenue to reach additional customers because some people respond better to to like a video clip than they do like a graphic. So I do think they have a purpose. You just got to know how to use it.
Okay. Anyone else want to jump in on this topic? Okay, we see Trevion.
Hi, everybody. My name is Travion. I want to say that
Hello.
what we all know or should know, content is king. And we should always have as much content as we can for our book projects or just about any project that we're working on. So I do think that visuals are extremely important. I had an interesting experience with a previous book that I wrote where we started out filming a book trailer and we honestly ended up creating a whole documentary
Oh
because it
wow.
was so much content, quite honestly, that it turned in, from being a book trailer to being a documentary. So I do think that they're very important, very powerful, and great tools that should be utilized.
Awesome. Anybody else want to jump in?
I don't have one, but it sounds like I need one, but I don't even know how to get started with one. I don't know where to go to get one.
Well, we can help you on that. So, one thing we want to do on DreamSpire Books is be a resource for authors. And in author, to say offer and author in the same sentence is extremely difficult.
Sounds
But
good.
we want to offer authors as many services as we can. We definitely do, and we do create trailers. Nothing in depth, we're not going to bring a camera crew to your house, but we can definitely get your point across. I am a graphic designer and a web designer, so to me, to have a trailer for my book was just is something that I knew that I wanted to do, and I definitely want to actually do a bigger trailer. I want to film, and I want to have a script for the opening scene of my book because I think it just lends itself to that. So I definitely am a fan of book trailers.
Mm.
Anyone else? And if not, we're going to go into a book trailer. Okay,
Sure.
Dr. Howard.
I'm with Trevor in that I don't have one. I basically used to write just for fun and decided I need to put this one out here and publish it. So literally, I've got the books and they're on Amazon, but that is the extent. I have no marketing, no trailers, no anything. So this is a great resource for me.
Mhm.
Well, awesome. And I know after we birthed those books, we're like, oh, well, the hard part is done. But marketing is that's just where it begins. After you birth that baby, you still got to raise it. And I know
Yeah.
so many authors who birth those books, but they don't want to extend marketing. They don't want to go out and push it. The same family and friends that encourage you to write that book. You can't depend on them to be the people that buy that book. So you
Right.
have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in getting your voice out there. And that's part of what this platform is all about, is to give you an amplified voice, to give you a tool. We can't go out there and sell your book for you, but we can only put as many tools as we know how in your hands to help you to do that. So share this. Let people know that you were on here. And like I said, we're taping this, so it's going to be on our website as well after some editing, mostly on my part, but definitely. So I think marketing is very important to what we do. We're going to watch a couple of book trailers, and I don't know if I want feedback because one is mine. So, but it'll just give you some ideas. This one is not mine. Now I really like that one because it's dramatic. So it makes you, it kind of just draws you into okay, what is this about? And the name of the book is Chatter Monsters. So you just really want to look and say, who are these monsters? And I think I liked how the music and the theme of the book paired up. So this one is mine. So a much simpler tone. But I think in doing this and having your book trailer, I see I'm getting a little echo. That's interesting. Oh, okay. We didn't have an echo on the first one for a whole hour. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fix this, but you guys are going to be doing most of the talking, so that's a good thing. Okay, so we thank you for our second roundtable. We're going to get into our next set of guests. We're going to run this quick little commercial, and then we're going to come back with the authors of Sugar Mama. I've been waiting to talk to them. Okay, I'm hoping that that solved the problem with the echoing. I took my headset off, so can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So we're going to go. We're here with the authors of Sugar Mama. Now this book in its cover, I'm gonna show them the cover, your graphic here. Now that's sassy to me. So I want to hear all about this story. I want to hear the concept of the book and how you got started on the book and everything. So tell me, what is the story about? We'll start with you, Leilani.
Okay, thank you. Pleasure to be here today. Story is a marriage that is with the male. That's the Bible, but it's a long relationship turned into a marriage. And Kaylani, main character, thinks that she knows her husband is until all of with the divorce to a totally.
You're coming in and out for some reason.
Am I?
It's a
Is that
serious
any
echo.
better?
Okay, you're hearing the echo on my side still?
I don't hear the echo on your side. Did you do something differently?
Yeah, I just took my headset off.
Do we still have an echo?
I hear it. Did you hear mine?
I do.
And see, I'm not hearing it. Okay, and you both, do you have on headphones? Because sometimes that will
No.
see.
No.
Because I'm not hearing it. I know it's kind of irritating when you hear it.
Okay.
This is Gotta Love Live. Let me try to, because I'm not, it's funny because I'm not hearing it on my side. You were just going in and out. Okay, I'm not hearing.
Renata, are you hearing me? Testing. One, two, three. Are you hearing
Yes.
an echo?
No, I'm not hearing an echo.
I don't hear it anymore.
I don't hear it anymore either.
Okay,
It
so
sounds good.
gotta love technology.
And thank you, Trevor, and everybody for the comments to help us get it right.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I mean, this is the fun of this age that we're living in. We talked in our first roundtable about COVID and about the opportunities as well as some of the challenges. And technology has definitely been a challenge from small productions to NBC. So I don't feel bad when technology kind of hinders things because it's just a byproduct of the age that we're living here. But we're going to get started because I know you guys are under a time constraint, so we definitely want to be respectful of that. We're going to start again, Leilani. I'd love to hear
Okay.
about that concept of that book.
Okay, awesome. The concept is loosely based on reality, and it's the story of a male gold digger. So basically, a traditional role reversal where the male, Kaylani Jennings, the main character of the book, falls in love and is married. And in the end, when the divorce is going down, she realizes that he's a gold digger. And all of these things come out and exposed about the marriage that Kaylani wasn't aware of. So it's a fun novel, to say the least. And it takes you through the trials and tribulations of a divorce and how the divorce got there and the things that happened after the divorce.
So, a role reversal, where'd you come up with that concept? You said it's loosely based on something. So,
It wasn't hard
Yes,
for her to find. Renata.
oh, okay.
That wasn't hard. Just FYI.
Okay, so we gonna dig a little bit, okay? So it was a story, let's just say that was close to you. Would that be
right.
fair to say?
That would be definitely fair to say, a story that was close to me, and the story is near and dear to my heart. So, yes.
Okay, so this is interesting. I've been a part of anthologies, mostly on the poetry side, but I've never written a book with a partner. So, how does that work? And I'm going to bring Travion over for this one.
Okay.
Sure. Well, first of all, Leilani and I had the pleasure of working together on other projects and other ventures. Both of us are what Sheen Magazine recently referred to us as multipreneurs. We both are. I run a PR and branding business, and Leilani runs a very successful healthcare business and daycare, so many other, educational programs. And also, she runs an entertainment company. So I was a publicist for one of her music artists. And just in building in that respect, she became more and more aware that I have a background in writing and storytelling. And she is a great writer herself, but of course is extremely busy with all of the things that she had going on, including just some of the real life experiences that she was going through. And just one thing led to another. We talked about it, we collaborated, and we came up with the agreement and understanding that we would work together on a project. That process took me to visit her in Texas and her to visit me in California and us to meet in many places, for our writing trips and work trips where we collaborated and I would record and, she would dictate and then we would work on the chapters together. It was a cohesive process. It took a long time, what would you say, Lonnie, a couple of years?
Yes, at least 3 years
Oh,
from
wow.
concept
It,
to delivery. Yes.
It took a few years because neither of us were able to just work on this project solely, and also it was actually quite a work in progress. Just FYI, it was quite a lot of things happening that ended up making it to the book, and we wanted it to have an organic ending, which there's no ending per se because if you pay attention to the title, Sugar Mama, A.K. Lonnie Jennings Saga, that means that the saga is and will and does continue.
Okay, so look out for the next book.
We're working on that.
I got you. I got you. So, Leilani, now we just gonna talk here for a minute. So this was close to your heart, a story that you're intimately familiar with,
Yeah.
and in writing that, did you feel a certain sense of vulnerability to put it out there?
Absolutely. There was a lot of vulnerability in putting it out there because the story is so deep. I gave a synopsis, but it goes into, if you read the book, it goes into a lot of details in different relationships that the main character has with close family members. So it was definitely exposing that, but it was a truth or a side that needed to be told because women are exposed in this manner all the time and they don't want to talk about it, they want to hide it. So at the end of the day, I knew it was still something that had to be done. It's really for people to know that yes, you can go through this, but yes, it's fine. And
She's very brave, Renata. I always admired her bravery.
Absolutely. I know with my book, it's based on me. So uh, it was hard at the end. I actually had to do a rewrite because I didn't feel like I really put it all out there on the table.
Hmm.
Um, and in doing that, what has been some of the feedback? When did the book come out and what has been some of the feedback?
You want me to start?
yes, you can start.
All right. The book came out earlier this year, and overall, the reviews and the feedback have been really great. But some of those characters who I would say or some of the people who inspired, shall I say, some real life characters, or perhaps might have seen real similarities in themselves. Those characteristics might have struck chords with people, and they have not all been so happy about it. And I think that's something that I was always concerned about. But Leilani was always with it, and she was never scared, never feel fearful, and believed in the truth. And I supported her in that. But overall, the response and the feedback has been quite overwhelmingly good.
Well, good. And I'm sorry for the noise in the background. Another joy of the age in which we're
I,
living in. Or good.
yeah.
Good. So now I'm an avid reader. I don't get a chance to read as much as I would like to. Um, but definitely, this seems very intriguing. And some books almost seem like they just lend themselves to bringing it to the screen. So, have you thought about bringing this to the screen?
Well, it's interesting that you say that. We have been approached and asked about that many times, and so it's something to consider definitely down the road. It's definitely screen worthy when you read the entire story, so and the saga. So, it's not off the table, but we don't have any deals secured yet to bring it to.
Awesome. We just interviewed somebody on our platform and the Authors Lounge, and she takes books from books to screen, and she definitely has some good advice. She was saying that writers, that if you even think you want to bring your book to the screen, then write it in that way that would lend itself to the screen. I'm not sure what. I hope no one heard all of that noise. Um, it would, to lend itself to the screen, and some books you can just see that they would make a good movie. And I love the topic. I love the reversal of roles because it happens. Women are all the time seen as gold diggers, but as women that are self-sufficient and have our own bag, so to speak, those roles can definitely be reversed, and that's real. It happens all the time. I was reading this story. I shouldn't laugh because it's not funny, but this guy, he had did a whole lot to make himself look like he had everything going on, but at the end of the day, he was just really a phony, and had plenty of people fooled, including his wife. So we know that it's a reality, and these things can happen. So it's a saga. It's going to be continued.
Yeah.
Now, the continuance, is it continuing of the same story? Are you just going to take those characters that are in the story and evolve them? Or how is that working?
Right. There are elements of the same characters that will continue and evolve, but Kaylani Jennings is the primary character and it'll focus on her business life.
Okay.
New characters will emerge.
Because you have to remember, Renata, Kaylani Jennings clearly had a bag for somebody to want to go after. And
Mm-hmm.
for her to have secured that bag and the many bags thereof, it requires her to be a mogul. And when you are a mogul and you are a powerful, beautiful woman out here, people are envious. People are constantly trying you. And then there are still many men who they make a practice and a prey of this. I wanted to bring attention to our Sugar Mama Book Facebook group, which we'd love for everybody to join. It's the Sugar Mama Book group on Facebook right now, and I pretty much manage that. And I tell you right now, we have over 400 requests that I used to just accept everybody, but when I tell you these are really men from all over the world who are seeking specifically a sugar mama,
Wow.
and they're proud of it. And at first, we got a kick out of it, and we laughed about it at first. You know what I mean? Because we just couldn't believe it, the boldness and the brazenness. But it's prevalent all over the world that people are looking for this, wanting it, and even advertising it from the sugar mama, male female perspective, or female female whatever perspective. But the saga will focus more on Kaylani Jennings being a target of a lot of rude and lascivious attempts on her bag.
Wow, that's so interesting. So now I'm interested in the Facebook group. So did the guys think this was advertising sugar mamas? Like, come and
I
get your
think
sugar
so.
mama?
We think so. We think so. I mean, even though we're really clear on what our intentions are, and we made it clear about it being a community for people who have endured these kind of things, or who want to discuss racy relationship topics, and also what we post in the content. For you who follow our group and join our group, it's about the book. It's about Leilani and myself. It's the articles. She just was featured in Rolling Out magazine as a powerhouse mogul. We talk about those kind of things, but they hear and see is sugar mama, and I guess beautiful, successful women, and they put their phone numbers and photos up. Trust me.
Oh wow, that's so interesting.
Mhm.
So it's how one thing starts. This is the world in which we live in, and social media. So I'm gonna direct this question to you, Leilani. What do you think that you would do differently in that, or what advice do you have for women that that are successful and that do attract these people looking just to kind of latch on?
Right. I would say that the bottom line is stay true to who you are and stay true to yourself. Know that the predators are out there and just be leery. Handle a relationship like you would handle a business deal.
Okay. Yeah, but sometimes our heart is just
Rodney,
like
Rodney.
our,
Ooh.
our heart is
Hey,
not.
I'm softer. I'm softer than Lonnie. You hear me, Renata? I'm mushier than Lonnie.
Out the bad taken, you'll see it in a whole different perspective and you'll be like, oh, I should have listened to her. Like when the love and lust are all gone, the things,
Ooh,
the flames die down and you just got sparks, you'll see it, my
Oh,
ooh, that's good. We got to
okay.
do that. That's new. I
Now
love
that
it.
That is that. I'm gonna have you ladies back on the whole show. Oh, you are coming back on the whole show.
Yes, we are.
Okay, and I can't wait to dig further into it. But I think we tantalize them to go and pick up the book. We're gonna play your graphic, and you guys tune in because it's more to come with these ladies. And you know what? I want to hear some of the stories out of that group. I'm definitely going to mosey on over to Sugar
Thank you.
Mamas on Facebook. And I'm just interested in hearing some of those stories. But thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us. I'm very much intrigued by the story, and I know that it probably will make its way to big screen and more to come with you. So thank you. I know you have to run, but we're going to put your graphic up here, and so if people want to connect and get the book, you heard it. Go on to the Facebook group. You might learn some game. I don't
I
know,
know
Lalani. My heart is a little soft. I can't. I'm not
that.
quite to
Me
the
too.
business deal.
You
I'm
are.
just not in. Look, I'm not in any deals right now. I'm just minding my business at this
Well,
point.
join the group. Join the group. We're not displeased.
Yeah, you'll see
Right.
my invitation over there. All right, ladies, have a wonderful day, and we'll put your
Thank you
Thank
graphic
for
you.
up
Have a
having
here.
good day.
come on.
Thank you for stopping by.
All right.
Bye bye. So there you have it. If you want to read all about Sugar Mama, a story from a different perspective, definitely click on the QR code and join the Facebook group. And these ladies are going to be doing an in-depth interview with us, so we're going to dig in further into these stories. We're going to have a small another commercial break here, and then we're going to come back with another author after this break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to DreamSpire Books Virtual Book Fair. Join us today. You can also catch the replay on our website, www.dreamspirebook.com. We have amazing authors that are joining us today, from children's books to steamy fiction. Again, you are not going to want to miss this. See you there. All right, there you have it. And we are back with our next offer. We're going to switch these screens here. We are here with Joy Harris Bird, and we're glad. Have you been enjoying yourself today,
I
Joy?
have. This has been so fun. I've learned a
Oh,
lot.
that's awesome. I'm learning, and we have a lot to come. We've got some sage advice. Our ears have been titillated a little. We've had
Yeah.
a lot going on. So I'm so glad that you guys dropped in today and to learn about everything that you have going on. So I know you're an author now. Do you exclusively, and I know you have a children's book.
hmm
So how did you start writing, and do you write other things, or are you strictly write children's books?
I started out writing as a blog. So I would just kind of write stories about my life. And I started that back in 2017. And then in late 2018, I just kind of had this idea for a children's book. And I wrote it in like 5 minutes. It's a pretty short book, but I was like, man, I really think this would be a really good idea. So I wrote it at the end of 2018 and it came out. It was released in February 2019. And so I've pretty much been writing children's books ever since then.
Okay. And is how many books have you written at this point?
This is my second book that's been released during this pandemic. I have written three more books that I'm
Oh,
going to be
wow.
working on
Okay.
releasing.
That's awesome. You know, children's books is the fastest growing segment of literature.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a good thing. I'm like I said, I was speaking earlier. I was a child. I loved to read as a child. That was my thing. I really went to bed with books in my bed, and even my son, the same thing. And I think reading is passed down from generation to generation. If your parents are a reader, I think you're going to be more apt to be a reader. And so I think uh, children's books are very important because I can remember some of the first books that I read all these years later, and it's been all these years later. But I can definitely remember some of the first books that I read. So it's a very important segment to reach the children's book. So what is your book about?
Well, it's about three different kids. They actually have disabilities, and they're on this journey to go find this magical mirror. So there's like a legend that says if you go find the mirror, she can tell you what you're supposed to be in life. So they head out and they go find the mirror, but there's a trick to it. They actually have to say what they see in themselves first before she'll tell them. So by doing that, they kind of walk away, not just knowing their purpose in life, but just feeling better about themselves because the mirror really only enhances the beauty that's already there.
So where did you come up with the concept of the mirror?
Well, the mirror, I know, like growing up, I did not like to look at myself in the mirror or in photos or anything like that. I never really had anything positive to say when I looked in the mirror. But as I kind of grew older, I would look at myself and I would start saying affirmations to myself, like, you're beautiful, you can do this. And the mirror was just reflecting back beauty that had been in me my whole life. So I knew by presenting it like in a magical way, like a mirror, it's really just the kids talking back to themselves, and the mirror is just kind of affirming what they already know, which is that they're perfect just like they are.
That's awesome. So it's kind of like mirror, mirror on the wall,
Exactly.
but different because it's not only what people might think of beauty, but is really finding that beauty inside of us. So
Yeah.
what made you want to use kids that are disabled?
Well, I know, kind of growing up, I was teased a lot just for being chubby and like I like to read, I like to write, and just different things about myself. But there were also kids who were disabled, and they were always picked on and teased. And I just thought that I didn't know if the kids were just mean or if they just didn't understand their differences. So I knew I wanted to present it to children at a young age. If we can instill it in them before they kind of start growing older, that it's okay to be different and how to kind of deal with people that have differences. My thought process is maybe they would be more accepting when they do come across someone that was different.
Well, good. It's important because, uh, when I was younger, before the internet was, you only had to worry about the kids in your neighborhood or the kids at your school. And now kids these days, they can be bullied by the whole world
Oh,
for
yeah.
being different. And so it's hard to turn off because everywhere you go, it's not just your circle. It can be, you can go viral. I look at some of these babies who, we may laugh, and yes, we do, at some of these memes, but that's somebody's child.
Yeah.
And the internet is forever. Okay, it's
Oh, yeah.
forever. So they're going to be able to grow up years later and see that, I was a meme. People laughed at me. So we have to be very careful of what we put out there, and also what we reflect back, because we laugh at some of these things, but it is really serious because um, people are different, and people can grow up without seeing that beautiful reflection in the mirror. And
Yeah.
it's important to do that. And I love the fact that you use disabled or differently abled
Right.
um, people children in your book, because that's sometimes a segment that's left out. And
Right.
so by focusing on that, you let them know as well, even though I may not look like you or my body may not perform as you, that I'm positive. I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
definitely want to hear some of your book.
Okay,
And
yeah. All right. So this is the cover. I'll show it, different like me. And I'll just read. It's a small passage. It's about one of the characters. She has Down syndrome. So I'll just read her part in the book. Okay. So Kylie comes in and says, "It's my turn. I will go next. I'm not sure what to say, but I will try my best. Mirror, mirror on the wall, do you know what I see? I see a girl with Down syndrome who learns things differently. It took me longer than others to learn to move around. Now that I'm finally moving, it's hard to keep me down." I hold on tight to things and I don't want to let them go. That's gotten me into trouble more times than you would know. It's hard for me to make friends or talk to someone new. I wouldn't say I like large crowds, one or two people will do. I know that I am different, but it doesn't bother me. Imagine if we were all the same. How boring would that be? And that's her part in the book.
oh, that I love that. I love the illustrations too. Now I often wonder about children's books and the illustrations. So how did you go about getting your book illustrated?
Oh man. So I had an illustrator I had found on Instagram, and it was a guy, and he just couldn't catch my vision. I would send him like detailed descriptions on what I wanted, and it was almost like he was sending back stick figures. Like it didn't work out. So then I found someone else, and she was on Fiverr. She had a verified account, and I looked her up on Instagram, and we were in great communication for about 3 weeks before I sent her the money. The day I sent her the money, I tried to follow up with her, and I never heard back from her
Oh,
again.
wow.
And so I tried to reach out to her for about 3 weeks, and she just never responded. And then finally, she actually responded 2 months ago, and she's like, "Did you still need those illustrations?" I'm like, "No, the book has been released." But finally, I went back to Fiverr, third time's a charm, and I found a young lady who I sent her what I wanted for the cover, and she sent it back the next day, and it was perfect. So from that point on, I was really able to just move forward getting my illustrations.
Well, that's good because unlike chapter books, and this is what I've learned from at home school, my grandniece.
Uh,
They call them chapter books
oh
that
man.
are mainly words.
Hmm.
A children's book, for the large part, depends on illustration. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
To get someone to capture your vision. I'm also a graphic and web designer, so it's really hard sometimes to get in somebody's head and really listen and bring their vision to life. That's a big part of it. And I know with your book, the pictures are almost as important as the words to tell the story. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you found it. Your book is
Yeah.
definitely beautifully illustrated from what I can see. And we're going to let people connect with you, and we thank you for hanging on in there with us.
Yeah. I appreciate
And
it. Thanks for this opportunity.
oh, you're welcome. We're welcome. I thought that it would be so long, but now time is just zippity
It really
zipping
is. I
by.
didn't realize
I
it
was
was
like,
almost,
wow, we got to
yeah.
get our next author in for this hour. So I'm going to put your graphic up here so that people can connect with you, and definitely check out some of the other things that we have going on for children's author on our platform.
Okay.
All right. Well, you have a great day, and
You
thank you for
too.
hanging
Thank
with us.
you.
All right. Hope you'll be able to join us the third hour too
Okay.
for our next roundtable. So, different like me, as you can see, all the beautiful graphics that are a part of this book connect with this book, Joy Harris Bird. By now, you know how to use the technology and get in there, we're going to bring on our third author for this hour, Miss LaShawn Grimes. And let's just continue. I hope everyone out there is having a good time. We're broadcasting on 5 different channels, and then we're going to rebroadcast this on our website. So don't worry if you missed some of it. You can go to the website after it and catch the whole thing. It'll probably be up there in the next 72 hours. So we're going to bring Miss LaShawn in. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Another guest. What people, it's funny, I do the editing for the platform. So a lot of times, if you've been on our platform through DreamSpire Books, I feel like I already know you because
That's right.
I've edited that video and I watched that video. So I feel like I've already interviewed you because I've seen the first interview. So we're definitely glad to have you with us today in our second hour to close our second hour off. I mean, I can't believe the time has just is going by so quickly.
Here.
We're going to hold this. We don't want to short you on time, so we'll probably hold this over for a little bit. I think we have about a 10-minute grace on the other side. Or what we might, if we don't get finished, we'll bring you over, hold you over a little bit on the other side as well, okay?
Okay, sure.
All right, but I would love to hear about your book and the things, I just like I said, I feel like I'm at a little bit of an advantage because I've already heard some about your book, and I'm very overjoyed to have you joining us here to let people know, because I think your book, it really has a powerful message. So tell us about your book.
Yes, and thank you again, Ms. Ray, for having me on the DreamSpire Books virtual book fair. I just want to tell you thank you for the opportunity to be here to share my journey. The name of my book is called More Than a Pretty Face. And many times women ask me, well, Ms. Grimes, how did you come up with that title, More Than a Pretty Face? And as you can see, I have my banner in the back here as a display of the book. But More Than a Pretty Face came to my attention. I was sitting at a Atlanta Braves baseball game, and I was watching the cheerleaders. They were just beautiful. They had the beautiful makeup and their outfits. And I was just sitting there. And I said, I wonder if they realize that they're more than a pretty face. And so that's how the title came. So when I got home, I had my journal. I started writing down notes and jotting down things that I wanted inside of the book. And this is how it all transpired, More Than a Pretty Face. And I wanted to share with women and young girls to understand that you're more than just a pretty face. You're full of courage. You're full of determination. You're full of tenacity. I want them to understand that they are just beautiful on the inside. Beautify what's there on the inside and then let it exude out onto the outside. And so that's how More Than a Pretty Face came about. And I'm always encouraging young ladies and young girls about valuing who you are as a young lady. I have 3 daughters. Alexia, she's 29. Trinity, she's 25. And Victoria is 16. And so as a mother, I've always encouraged my girls, I call them my girls to value who you are as a young lady. Treasure the valuable talents and gifts that's on the inside. Beautify what's on the inside. And that's my key thing that I'm always telling young ladies and young girls, that you're more than a pretty face. Value that inner beauty. Develop the inner beauty because it's gorgeous.
And
And
how
so
do
this
you
is
I'm sorry.
oh, that's okay. And this is how just basically how More Than a Pretty Face came to a reality. And I'm just so excited to share my story with young ladies and how I just overcame different challenges with being a young mother, 18 years old, having to go to school, overcoming that barrier of thinking, can I really finish school and have my child and be married at the same time? I mean, can I really do this? So I share my personal story. It's really personal. I share some personal experiences in the book about things that I overcame. And so I'm hoping that it will just continue to go forth and be a blessing to other women and young girls across the world.
Well, I'm sure that it will because I mean, as women, we are taught to lead with our beauty, taught to lead with that external thing. And I'm looking even in the virtual world that we're in right now. Men sometimes they can come on these talks and they just look like they kind of just rolled on over and put something on. But
Yeah.
as women, even in the virtual world, we put on our faces, we put on our makeup, we do our hair, which is nothing wrong with that because I can be a plain Jane or I can be a girly girl as well. So I definitely enjoy being feminine as well. But it's we have to dig deeper in
Yeah.
that. And I think even though we have a lot of empowering messages and a lot of things, I'll take example. I'm going to give you a perfect example. So we have a woman VP elect in Kamala Harris,
Yes.
and she did the acceptance speech. And one of the biggest comments that I saw was not how smart she was, not how, this is a powerful office, but about her cream soup. And I
Exactly.
just thought that, okay, out of all the things that you could have said, there was still such an emphasis on the outer beauty. Then
Yes.
the she's has will be the second most powerful person
Mhm.
in America, and some would even arguably say the world. Um,
Yeah.
so we're still focused on that outer. So what are some tips that you can to give to women that are in your book to refocus, not to be more than a pretty face?
Yes, and some of the keys that I actually focus on. One of the chapters I talk about keys to developing your self confidence. And if you want me to a little bit later, I'll read an actual excerpt from the book. But what I challenge women to do is to change their way of thinking. It all starts here with how you think about yourself. So, what you think about yourself is what you begin to say, and your words begin to create an atmosphere. Whereas you're feeling depressed or oppressed, you're feeling as though that you can move forward and do great things. So, it all starts with changing that mindset. That is so vitally important for women, changing the mindset and how you see yourself. And then, number two, watch what you say. Your words are powerful. Life and death are in the power of your tongue. And so therefore we have to be careful as women, just individuals altogether, and being careful on what we say to ourselves and what we say to others. So those are my two keys: changing your mindset, your way of thinking, and then changing what you say about yourself. Keep it positive. I make sure every single morning that I do my positive affirmations. I am beautiful. I am unique. I'm special. I am God's masterpiece. And so, therefore, with that, when you have those words in line, everything else will fall in line because you're speaking forth life. You're not speaking death to yourself. And I like to say you're speaking life to your life.
I love that. I love that. And that's important because we can have a whole dialogue going on in our head.
Okay.
And it's important. We're getting ready next month to have a visioning board workshop. And it's going to be digital, but one of the most important things is the boards will have theme. And so I was working with someone and they were like, do a vision board. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it. But once I really got into it and gave it a theme, and the theme was I'm worthy, and then take that because we think of a vision board sometimes, okay, I want this and I want that. But sometimes we need to want those things, those internal things too, and not just those external. So we would love to hear an excerpt from your book. And I'm going to give you a plug. You can go to our YouTube channel or you can go to DreamSpire Books and you can actually hear a full length interview with Mrs. Grimes. And so you can soak in all of this wisdom and knowledge that she's given, and you can check out the book as well. She's going to read a short excerpt and we're
Okay.
going to let you know where you can find it. And if you want to hear more, we have more already. You don't even have to wait for it. You can go there today and hear the whole interview and get all those nuggets that she dropped for sure. So I'd love to hear our audience today to hear some of the book. and we're going to get your graphic up. And like I said, if you want to hear more, guess what? Go over to DreamSpire Books to the Authors Lounge, and you'll be able to hear the whole full interview.
Okay, awesome. Well, this is my book, More Than a Pretty Face, Empowering Women to Love and Value Their Inner Beauty. And so I wanted to read an excerpt called Keys to Developing Your Self-Confidence. Self-confidence is one of the most essential qualities for success. When you are confident, you believe in your abilities to accomplish your goals. You're not intimidated by others, and you don't make excuses for not doing your best. There are three important steps to developing self confidence and feeling energized to pursue your goals. Number one, change your way of thinking. Imagine your mind as a garden where the thoughts that you plant can yield a harvest of good or bad fruit. Make sure that you plant good thoughts in your mind. I love this quotation by Benjamin Disraeli. Everyone should nurture their minds with great thoughts, for you will never go any higher than you think. Number two, accept yourself. One of life's greatest challenges is to recognize that you are imperfect and uniquely different from anyone else. However, don't let the fact that you aren't perfect be an excuse for not being or doing your best. Number three, surround yourself with positive role models and self-confident people. I didn't really understand the meaning of birds of a feather flock together until I became an older adult. My parents, husband, and friends always are great mentors and positive role models. And I've learned from their successes and been inspired by them to do my best in all my endeavors. It is vitally important to develop self confidence, and nobody else can do it for you. Now is the time to accept responsibility for cultivating your self confidence and become a go getter. Ponder these words of Sir Edmund Hillary. It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. The real challenge is not overcoming obstacles in life, but conquering our own negative thinking and feelings of low self esteem. That's the real challenge. Thank you so
I
much.
I definitely believe that. So definitely check out her, check out the full interview. We're going to put her graphic on, and then we're going to head into our fifth hour. Our fifth hour, Lord have mercy. It's not quite the fifth hour, but our third hour. And we saved the men for last. Ladies, I hope you didn't think we are going to just be all about the ladies. We have the men coming up, and we also have a mystery writer. So definitely you want to stay tuned for our third hour. For those of us that to join us, you'll see the link. So we'll meet you over there. We're going to show the graphic. We're going to close this out, and we're going to meet you over there in about 2 minutes. Thank you so much, Ms. Grimes.
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Grimes.